Hello, fellow planeswalkers of all ages, my MTG fam. How y'all doing today? Alright, today we got something. We're going to do a quick deck tech for a budgety build. If you're just jumping in, want to go to, tabletop game, Friday Night Magic, something like that. This is a good deck to start with. It's Boros Knights. Yeah, it's still a thing. And do not make fun of me because I got a Bob Marley looking shirt on. I look fly on this, don't play. Anyways, so what I want to start doing as well, before we get into it, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you get every video that I put out. And also, as I mentioned in my last video, my beautiful fiance is making custom mats. Leave it in the comments down below if you'd like one for yourself. But anyway, let's jump into the deck tech and see how we're looking. Okay, so I'm going to start off with our 1-drops. And of course, we got to go with 4 copies of Fervent Champion. This is a staple in any red deck, but in Boros, Knights, Mardu Knights, and anything else. In case for the people who do not know what it does, it's a 1/1 with first strike and haste. And when Fervent Champion attacks, another target Knight that you control gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. Equip abilities to activate Fervent Champion costs 3 less. So we're running 4 of those bad boys. Next, we got Virtual Knight. And I probably butchered that name because I don't know the names, people. I'm sorry. I'm from Alabama. We got different English down here. But anyway, we're running 4 copies of it. It is a 2/1. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Knight you control. So for a 1-drop 2/1, turn 1 you lay it down. Turn 2 drop down your favorite champion or any other. You can drop down another Knight, Venerable Knight, and get +1 counter on it. If the guy swings into it, you can block with it. So there you go. We're running 4 copies of that.
You're not using this
Excuse me. Next up, we're running into the 2-drops. We're going to be running 4 copies of Worthy Knight. Now this one kind of pushes. This lighting is horrible, but anyway, this really pushes the bill on this one. It's a 2-drop and one colors, 1 white. Human Knight. Whenever you cast a Knight spell, remember that Knight spell doesn't have to be a creature. Create a 1/1 white human creature token, and he's a 2/2, so it gets out of hand pretty quickly, and you can build up your board quite a bit. So we're running 4 copies of that bad boy. Now we're moving into Inspiring Veteran. Kind of like the backbone of this deck. It's basically the lord of the deck right now. Other Knights you control get +1/+1. So all your Knights get +1/+1. And himself, it's 1 mountain, 1 plains. He is a 2/2, so I mean, you get a couple of these guys out, they buff each other, buff your Knights up, and you kind of overrun the board. So we're running 4 copies of him. Next up, we move into the 3-drops on the creature slot. We are running, let's see, 3 copies of Ardenvale Tactician. Now, Ardenvale Tactician I don't know, I love this card so much. It's a 3-drop, 1 colors, 2 planes, and it's got flying. It's a 2/3, but it also has the adventure ability, Dizzy Swoop. You get to tap up to 2 target creatures for 2 mana. So it serves double purpose on there. So we're running 3 copies of that bad boy. Next, another staple in any red deck, period. Bonecrusher Giant. His adventure ability is you can pay 2, it deals 2 damage to any target, and damage can't be prevented by it. So so they cannot prevent any of that damage going through. And then you can cast it, and he's a 4/3 by himself, which is pretty solid for a 3-drop. And whenever Bonecrusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, Bonecrusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. So if he tried to play a kill spell on it, they're taking damage themselves. So we're running 3 copies of him. Next, this one, like I said, I'm trying to keep this budget friendly as possible. The lands are probably going to be where the money gets a little bit more, but this card I was actually kind of impressed with. I'm running 2 Shatterskull Charger. This one I haven't seen in too many Boros builds at all. One, because it's not a knight, it's the Giant Warrior. And he is a 3-drop. 1 colorless, 2 mountains, kicker 2, trample, haste. If Shatterskull was kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. And its kicker is 2. At the beginning of your end step, if it doesn't have a counter on it, it gets put back in your hand. So you can play this straight out the gate as just, you know, somebody's not expecting a 4/3 to come out with haste and trample, and you can just run over something, or you can go ahead and pay that extra 2. For 5 mana, you got a 5/4 with trample and haste. I mean, that's pretty solid as it is. But that, we're running 2 of, and our last creature, and I'm only running 1 of these because I just did not feel it necessary. Honestly, I didn't even want to put it in the deck, but just to maybe pull that last little bit that you need to end the game or something like that, is a Claimed Contender. Now, Claimed Contender is a 3-drop, 2 colors, 1 white. When Contender enters the battlefield, if you control another knight, look at the top 5 cards of your library, and you may reveal a knight or equipment or a legendary artifact from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of your library. Only 1 copy of him, but it can fetch out that last little bit that you need to try to finish off the game. Let's get this back. There we go. That's a little bit better. Alright, so now we're going to move into spells, enchantments, everything like that. Okay, before we get into the lands. So, I'm going to start with the 1-drops. 4 shocks. Staple in any red deck as well. Y'all know what it does. Just in case you don't, it is a 1-drop. Shock deals 2 damage to any target. Running 4 of them. We are running 3 copies of Infuriate. Infuriate is an instant. It gives your target creature +3/+2 until the end of turn. So it's a nice little combat trick. And find that. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And it runs really well with this next card I'm going to show you. So yeah, we're running 3 copies of Infuriate. Next up, we have into the 2-drop slot, Raking Claws. This combos very well with Infuriate because it gives your creature double strike until the end of turn. It's also got cycling, instant speed too. So I mean, you get you drop 2 Infuriates on basically anything in this deck, and then double strike. You can get 3, punch in a bunch of damage. We're running 2 of them. And let's see here, which one we'll go with right now. We'll do the 3-drop. Okay, next one up is an enchantment. It is Sanctuary Lockdown. Sanctuary Lockdown is 2 generic mana, 1 plains, enchantment. Humans you control get +1/+1. You can pay 2 colorless, tap 2 untapped humans that you control, and tap a creature your opponent controls. So you can pin down on the, you know, if they got 1 creature on board, 2 creatures on board, whatever, you can pin one of them down and get through with your guys because your board's going to be loaded. So we're running 1 copy of that. Our next enchantment up is something I don't know why I love this card so much. It's just it's kind of hilarious. But Outlaw's Merriment. Okay, so Outlaw's Merriment, it is a 4-drop, 1 generic, 1 mountain, 2 plains. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose 1 at random. Create a red and white creature token with those characteristics. Okay, you can choose a 3/1 human warrior with trample and haste, a 2/1 human cleric with lifelink and haste, a 1/2 rogue with haste, and when this creature enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target. So it's quite a bit because it's an enchantment, so it stays on the field, and you can do this every single time. Okay, every single time on your upkeep. So yeah, we're running 1 of them. Next,
You didn't furnish it, did you?
we are going to go into our artifacts, and that is first one, Circle of Loyalty. Circle of Loyalty is a 6-drop, 4 generic, 2 white, legendary artifact. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each knight you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance. You can also pay 3 generic, 1 planes, tap it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance. So that's pretty nifty because we are running knights in here. So we're only running one of them. Next, I only put 1 copy in here just because, like I said, I'm trying to keep this budget friendly. But yeah, you got to run Embercleave. You got to. Embercleave, 6-drop, flash, legendary artifact, equipment. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature you control. And as you've seen through the deck, we got plenty of creatures, so we'll be attacking a lot. When Embercleave enters the battlefield, you automatically get to attach it to a creature you control. Enchanted creature, or equipped creature, gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. And for the equipped, it's 3 if the one you equip to dies off. So that, yeah, we're definitely running that. Next up, we're gonna go with our only planeswalker, and that is Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis. And she is a 2 generic, 2 white, legendary planeswalker. Her -1 ability is up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+1 until the end of turn. -2, create two 1/1 human soldier tokens. -3, you gain 5 life. Multiple purposes serve on it, and her loyalty is 5. You can also escape it for 6, 4 generic, 2 white, to get it back from the graveyard. So I mean, pretty nifty there. I figured I'd throw that in there for a little bit of spice. But moving on to the land base, 2 tournament grounds. Tournament grounds is you can tap it to add a colors, or tap it to add a mountain, plains, or swamp. Spend this mana only to cast a knight or equipment spell. So we got knights, we got equipment. So there you go. Next, this is where some of the money goes into. Running I don't even know how. I hope correct me, please, if I'm pronouncing this stuff wrong, because I probably am. But anyway, Needle Average Pathway taps for a either red or white, and you don't. It's a dual land that you basically don't have to have come in tapped, or shock yourself or whatever with it. So I mean, yeah, we are going to be running one of them. We're also going to be running a Spike Field Cave. You can either tap it for a mountain. It does enter tapped, unfortunately, but it is one of the flippers. And it is Spike Field Hazard. It deals 1 damage to any target. If a permanent dealt this damage this turn, it would die. It would get exiled instead. And it's an instant speed, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can actually knock out with this card. Ones that come to mind, Mirrorfolk, that 2/1 Death Touch is one of them. Some of the rogues out there that you can actually hit with this, or you can just pick them with that last little bit of damage that you need. So we are going to be running 2 of them. And then we are going to be running Castle Embereth. Castle Embereth enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. You can tap it for a mountain, and you can pay 1 generic, 2 reds, create, and tap it, and create, or creatures you control get +1/+0 until the end of turn. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little tired. Yeah, so I mean, we're going to run one of them. Like I said, this is where some of the money goes into. We're going to be running a 1 Makinda Messiah. I don't know if I said that right, but we're going to go with it. Enter the battlefield tapped, and of course, it taps for a plains. It's got the old flipperoo over here. And then the backside of it is a sorcery. It's a 5-drop,
I'm moving in.
and it's 3 generic, 2 white. Creatures you control gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. So yet again, you get into that late game, you can have this out instead of playing it for the land. You can buff up the creatures and really swing in and go to town on people. And our last 2 of these lands is going to be Valakut Stoneforge, running 1 copy of it, and it's also one of these flip lands. And the back of it is Valakut Awakening. Put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards +1. So it's a good way to empty out your hand, and it's a 3-drop, by the way. It's a good way to empty out your hand and refill it, and it's an instant speed too, so that's, you know, pretty awesome. So let's see. I believe that's it. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna be running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plains. And I mean for sideboards, and that's the deck, by the way. But for sideboarding, you know, you got let's see, hold on a second, I might have some of that in here. Sideboarding, you know, when you go up against different matchups, you can throw in Rimrock Knight for the you know, for more knights, and he's got that ability, you know, Boulder Rush. It gets it's a 1-drop. You get +2 on a creature. Silver Flame Ritual is another good one to add to the deck on sideboarding. A lot of tokens in here. And you also add Bazriel, be another good one to add in here. But yeah, this is budget friendly, so if you're new to the game, or you know, just want something to be somewhat competitive, this deck is extremely good. It really is. I'm a huge Orzhov fan, and so I'm always going to be looking forward to doing Orzhov deck techs, but this one I like as well. Boros is pretty fun. It's always quick. Of course, Boar Wipes are going to kill us, so be careful how you play it. Play your creatures correctly, save some back in your hand, and everything like that. But from now on, what I'm going to be doing is, I know today's Monday, but I'm going to be doing Deck Tech Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, I will put out a video of a different deck tech. Leave it in the comments below of something you would like to see, and I will try to provide it. And if y'all stuck to the end of this, I appreciate it. I got it under 20 minutes, but I'm gonna have to dial it down a little bit more. But I really appreciate you tuning in. Y'all my fam. I love the community, and I love reaching out and trying to help people with this. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, check me out. Just leave comments on the bottom of anything I can improve on to help with the video quality or anything like that. Till then, guys, Fatal Draws out. Y'all take care.